Hello, everyone! Welcome to this fresh look at Ghostwire Tokyo. This is going to be a stream that's also going to be prepped for YouTube first look and review. So welcome everybody to this stream and to the channel. If you like what you see here, consider following if you see this on Twitch, and consider subscribing if you see this on YouTube. Let's get into it, shall we? First, we're going to set the brightness settings. Now, what I really like about this is that the game starts out with these sorts of settings, because usually you're not allowed to mix and match with the settings before a game starts. So take note. This is how you do it. To the options, turn down the sound just a little bit. There we go. That's very nice. Let's have a look at the options, shall we? You can have language for display and audio language. It's different, so Japanese for the flavor is probably the best. Camera bob strength. I have no idea what that means. We're gonna leave. I'm very happy YouTube cannot see this chat right now. Okay, so this is. It kind of looks like it might be designed for controller, seeing as vibration is on and stuff like that. You got aim assists, which is definitely super nice when you're on controller. I'm guessing it might be just switching automatically, probably. Let's see, the UI, you got the font size. I'm very happy about font size. Font size settings, because I'm an accessibility expert. I work in accessibility, so having these sorts of things readily available is something I appreciate a whole bunch. Whoops, cancel. Let's see, show compass. I guess we don't turn that on for now. Minimap frame size, minimap size. Yeah, no, this is good. Do we have an FOV slider, though? There's no FOV slider. Damn shame. Brightness, colorblind mode. They have a colorblind mode. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Okay. We're gonna put things like this. We're just gonna trust in everything, and hopefully this fixes it. Accept. Okay. The options menu, pretty solid, pretty happy with it. Kind of simplistic, which means that, you know, the core gameplay is probably really simple, but then again, really polished. Are we ready to jump in? It doesn't seem like there are any difficulty settings in the early part of the game. So I guess we're going to be faced with it soonish. Let's have a look. I have no idea what we're meeting, so we are just going to we're playing on hard. We're confident in our abilities, damn it. 0 XP is a little bit harsh. It's a little bit harsh to have for new players. Oh, the intro is really long, but for a single player game, I love that they're taking their time to like establish the characters. Pretty cool. Okay, so we can just walk. Can we? Goes loses, have it your way. Yeah. Right. Where am I supposed to go though? So just smoothened out a bit. Yeah, like the intro was a bit laggy, and now it seems a little bit less laggy now that we're actually doing the gameplay. Okay. Okay, so the cinematics are laggy as hell. That's annoying. Why are they smiling? Okay, it's time for some fighting. I'm playing this on mouse and keyboard. Okay. You focus your energy on your fingertips, then let it out in a burst. Oh, finger guns! We got finger guns! Oh, middle mouse button to block. Okay. Can I hold it in? Okay, so not attacking. Okay, so you slowly fill up your... Okay, cool. Getting to the hospital, and there we go. And then we're jumping, we can't slide, there's no free running, I think. Can we climb? Oh! Okay, that feels weird, but at the same time, okay. It's not exactly Dying Light, but this is pretty fun. It's decent, I'd say. I understand. Is there a crouch? There is a crouch! You can crouch. Can you... Okay, so there's no sprint. There's no sprint and slide. The FOV is really zoomed in. Yeah, there's no field of view option in this game that I could find either, but that's okay, I think. So this is a very on-rails single-player game, unless we can go down here. Can we go down here and explore? Okay, so the fog is like, yeah, okay. I understand. Maybe there's more open world mechanics later on. We'll cross our fingers for it. I think even RE8 at a higher FOV. Is there a higher FOV? Let's see here. Options. Brightness, colorblind, VSync. No, there's no FOV. There is no FOV. Unfortunately, I would love an FOV slider. Can you turn off the motion blur? No, the motion blur is there. You can just decide the quality of motion blur. Oh no, you can turn it off. Beautiful. You can actually turn it off. Listen, if you play this on easy, you're still going to have a good time with this game, even if you're not necessarily the best at shooting or first-person games. Oh, never mind. You get ammo by killing people. Okay. SP user perform ethereal weaving attacks. Defeating visitors will also procure ether. Okay, there we got the answers. We got the answers. So now we know we can punch. We got the power of punching. Oh, quick purge. Oh! Okay. Not let fear overtake you, indeed. Oh god. Alright. Abilities. Okay. You're not ready for this yet? Okay, cool, but like... Getting a synergy level grants spirit skill points. You can check your current skill points and spend them in the skills menu. Note the block pass of the rare skill tree requires Magatama to unlock. Cool. Charge attack. Ah, what's going on? Charge attack, enables you to perform charge ethereal weaving. Okay. Alright, so there's skill tree for different stuff. These are just regular abilities. Not ready for it, they say. And, yeah. Okay. So we got equipment, we got ethereal weaving, and we got abilities, and all those skill trees are different. And they will unlock as we progressively go through the game, I understand. Sure. So we're just gonna sneak around, snoop around. Do you guys think this might be a scary game? It does feel kind of scary, doesn't it? Charging attack! Pew! Oh, now rip its core out. Okay! Alright. Alright. So, combat mechanics a little bit more involved than I thought it would be. That's very nice. That's very nice. Having a day off work so I can finally watch Friendos for a bit. Very nice, Kumatori. You have old children's clothes that don't fit. Okay, so. Let someone else bless what was your mess. Indeed. Alright, so we're just going. The map is sometimes a little less than helpful. Oh! Food increases are... okay. Food increases recovering health. There we go, that's how you recover health. I asked the question right as the game is answering it. It's beautiful. What's what, sir? He's got a bad feeling about what... Okay! It's a scary game. Apparently. Okay, I think this game is definitely better played with controller. So far I'm intrigued. I'm really curious about this game. Give me an hour, maybe 2 more hours, Justin, and I'll be able to answer you. Alright! Let's start this game properly. So! The game is extremely story focused. It seems like a linear... The story seems very linear. You're thrust onto these characters and the action basically takes place immediately. So let's have a look here in Mission 2. If we're able to do some free-form exploring. It is definitely a very bold direction to go in storytelling-wise. To go straight for the like, here's the character, you know nothing. And just, you know, go for it and we'll figure it out as we go along. Pretty... So, if you go in directions you're not supposed to go, then the fog comes and kills you. That's a really clever way of masking, like, unavailable areas. See, here's my thing about this fog, right? I don't mind unplayable areas in games as long as it's explained properly. This is a good way to explain that, no. You're not going where you want to go, you're going where the game wants you to go. Because honestly... Oh god! Okay, I just wish the fog was a little bit easier to see. Oh, okay. So enemies are a lot more difficult than they were during the tutorial. That's very good to know. It's just... So sneaking in this game is highly encouraged in more difficult sections, because... Yeah, apparently there's a great limitation to the amount of food available to you. You want to pick up bags. So be aware that regular enemies, when grouped, are a pain in the ass. So the game of... Yes, so... let me explain the game! Okay, so the game seems to be finding these shrines, cleansing them, finding these gates and cleansing them so that we can get access to the shrine, and then that will open up the world so that we can explore, seemingly. That is very fascinating. Doggo! Can we pet the doggo? It's very important that we pet the doggo. This game was tricky. It looks trippy as hell. Oh, it is trippy as hell. I still have no idea what this game is about. Which means that it must be a great game, according to a lot of Kojima fans. 10 out of 10! 10 out of 10! 10 out of 10 this game! Ten out of 10 game. 10 out of 10. You can pet the dog. I might as well just end the game gameplay here. And it gets happy when you pet it. I'm not even listening to you, weird ghost man that lives inside of me. The dog is happy that we petted it. This game is perfect. We stepped into something. Blocking immediately before an enemy attacks will trigger a perfect block. Okay. Okay. I accidentally perfectly blocked. So the convenience store is still open. We got shopkeeper cats. Guys, we got shopkeeper cats. We got shopkeeper cats with 2 tails! I summoned the girlfriend. The shopkeeper cats with 2 tails. And it's flying.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
It has a little kimono.
It has a little kimono. So this game just scares the poop out of you at times, because you're gonna go around, right? You're gonna go around and you're gonna be like, hey, we should explore and look for like spirits and stuff like this, and then all of a sudden the game is like, yeah, but what about the magical death fog? And then your screen flashes red and everything is loud and you get super scared. And honestly, it's kind of a cool mechanic. Okay. What? Okay. Okay. What? What? Okay, we did it. That was very hard to do with a mouse. Definitely play this on controller. I'm like 99% sure this game is designed for controller. Dude, Steel Zipper, so far this game is actually pretty dope. This game is actually pretty dope. It doesn't explain anything to you in terms of the story. You're just getting this guy who's like just hitching a ride in you. This spooky dude type of thing. And he doesn't explain anything. I'm not sure though. And the climbing is at best lackluster. Okay, whatever. How do I feed it? There we go. Thanks. We can talk to the dog! Chago, whoever at the game studio. Whichever of the developers allowed us to talk to dogs. You're a legend, a champion, and just the damn best human that ever was and ever will be. We can pet the dogs, we can talk to the dogs, we can feed the dogs. This is the best game ever. 1,000 out of 10, Przemko. 1,000 out of 10. I don't even care. You scrap the rest of the game. This is all we need. Yeah, I just want to go around and feed dogs now. Honestly, Grappling and gliding. You can move through the air by making use of your grapple and glide abilities. Okay, extend the wire while high up in mid-air, hold space to glide for a short time. What? So if I go like... Oh! No! No!
びっくりした。死んでも落ちるのは怖えんだよ。
ごめん。
What the hell? Further with side missions. In addition to progressing through the main story, there are a number of side missions available throughout the city. These missions involve various activities, including supernatural investigations involving yokai and helping lost spirits. They're not linked to main mission progression. Starting locations for side missions can be reviewed under the map menu. Okay, so there are side missions. It is open world. It just takes some time to unlock it. That's it. Whoa! Noise. Okay. The gliding, big fan. Big fan of the gliding. I must admit. We're gonna do a side quest. I want to see a side quest. Let's do a side quest. Oh, the combat. The combat in this game, not necessarily the most complex combat I've ever played, but it is definitely something new and, dare I say, somewhat fresh. Okay, so he's concerned about the water.
やがて汚れとなり、奴らを
Okay.
放っておくわけにはいかないね。水がたくさん溜まってるとこ。
Should look for places where water's pooling.
そうだな。
Alright, well, it's marked on the map. Let's go have a look. An attack. Honestly, this game is just the definition of a strong offense is the best defense. Okay, not the most difficult game. This, but I can for sure say that it is doing an extremely good job of maintaining my curiosity. Okay, so that's how side quests work, and I think we're gonna call it a day there. So thank you all so much for joining me today and having a little bit of a look at Ghostwire Tokyo. It is pretty interesting. You can jump around on top of houses and shit. That's pretty cool. If the aesthetics, the story, and the gameplay is your jam, then feel more than free to get it. It's on Steam right now. It's a little bit different. It kind of feels like yes, Thief. It's sort of like Thief and Dishonor. Dishonor. That's the game I was thinking about. Thief and Dishonor. Check out Ghostwire Tokyo. Absolutely fantastic game. Really. I just wish I understood the story more. But alas, that is not for me. What is my first impression of Ghostwire Tokyo? Definitely something to check out, Justin. I wish I understood the story a little bit more, but even though I didn't, I'm intrigued. I'm going to keep playing it, and it is something new. It's something fresh. It's a fresh take on the horror exploration action genre, at least to me. So I personally enjoy it. Until next time, my friends, my name is Avtakos. I try to make the internet a kinder place. That would be impossible without all of you guys. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I will see you all next time. Stay fantastic, stay amazing, but most importantly, stay kind. It's crusading time, my friends. We out of here. Bye-bye now.